Hello everyone, this is Waldorf,
This is Statler.
and this is Battle Report 285.
285.
King of Equitaine versus the Undying Dynasties.
And huzzah, hobbies. Hey, you're on a roll now. We got color icon opponents.
Exactly.
One after the other.
Yeah, surprising.
Yeah.
Slight change to the list. General's the same. The next Duke, I've made a questing Duke. I gave him the questing virtue, which forced a couple changes. Well, it forced a couple changes. The main changes was to the general lost his shield, which meant he was, so he should actually be 10. General lost his shield, and then the damsel had to downgrade one of her binding scrolls to the wafers.
The wafers. Okay.
And then just because I was tinkering with the army, the BSB swapped out his ether icon for a potion of strength,
Okay.
just to try something a little bit different. Other than that, the only other change to the list was the Grail Knights lost their champion.
Okay.
I don't know where he lost him, but he's gone now. All gone. That brings us to the Undying Dynasties. As an adept of cosmology with the Book of Arcane Power,
Okay.
who is the Hierophant. He has the Master of Evocation. Another guy who's a Master of Evocation, Sacred Hourglass. He didn't even tell me what he is. An Architect with a Binding Scroll. A Pharaoh with Destiny's Call. Great Weapon. Godslayer weapon. Dragonfire Gem. Great Aspen Bow. They use the General. 29 archers with full command. 5 skeleton scouts. 5 more skeleton scouts. 20 warriors with a champion and a musician. 3 light chariots. 2 units of 4 Shabti with no upgrades.
Okay.
8 Shabti with standard and the Rending Banner.
Okay.
And 6 Tomb Cataphracts.
Okay. That's a different list.
It's different. Definitely different. And we're going to play Counter Thrust and Spoils of War.
Okay.
You can see I dropped these 3 units over here on the left, and then he dropped the rest of his army.
Ah, okay.
Or he's in the process of dropping
so
the rest
he's
of his
where he
army.
is, or
No,
okay.
he's in the process of dropping it.
Okay. So we got
Unfortunately, the Cataphracts didn't start facing the building, waiting for me to come out.
what terrain?
Terrain-wise, up in the top left-ish, we have a ruin in his deployment zone and an impassable off to his right in his deployment zone. Across the center, there is a field, a forest, and a wall.
Okay.
And towards my end, there's a wall, it's not a building, that's a hill, and a lake over on the right.
Okay.
And there's the 3 markers for the Spoils of War. Now, the one thing we weren't real sure of, but it looks like after looking at it, the one on the right, the wall is exactly 24 up, which is the exact spot of the marker.
Okay.
You have to get the pick. It'll be on the center of the marker. So we looked at the rules, and it looks like you cannot defend the wall and pick up the marker.
Okay.
Because it says you have to be behind the wall to defend it.
Okay.
And you have to be on the center of the marker to pick it up.
Okay.
So you can't be behind the wall and on the marker.
Okay.
Is the way we interpreted that. So if you have a better answer for me, put it in the notes, because I'd like to hear it. Moving on, there's his full deployment and mine. So, yep, that's what we have.
Okay.
Shabti unit, the small unit of Shabti over on the far right behind that building, or by the building, with the unit of Cataphracts facing this. They're facing that token off there on the right. Token on the left, he's got the chariots, small unit of Shabti, and the big unit of Shabti in the ruins, who have the arc to either one of the tokens.
Okay.
So, a big unit of archers right here in the center. He's got his characters up there, but they're fully ready to just bounce back into the unit behind them for their bunker.
Right.
A
Okay.
unit of 20 warriors behind them. So, first turn, he vanguards up, gets the first turn, because he deployed everything, and then moves forward out of my arc.
Okay.
Missed this. I missed this. Did not pay close enough attention to see what was going to happen here. Anyway, Moving forward, you can see he's not done much over on the right. Just redeployed his archers wide. Shabtis came up to the front of the ruin.
Okay.
And off on the left, just kind of cleaned up his line. There you go. Yep. Just formed up a line, sitting where he is. And that's going to bring it to my turn. And of course, you can see the Grail Knights are out of arc, so are the aspirants. Some shooting killed off 2 aspirants.
Okay.
Not quite sure what shooting, but
Probably the bows.
could have been a spell as well.
Okay.
But regardless, that's where we are. Nothing special going on other than that. Everyone else looks intact. So we're going to my turn, bottom of turn 1. The aspirants move forward. Not sure why I only went there. Oh, because I didn't want to get charged by the Shabdi, maybe? Not sure. Thought I should have, looking back, I should have placed them on the marker. I don't think it would have made a difference, but should have placed them on the marker. The White Knights on the far...
march move or something?
Could have been, but I'm not 100% sure at this point. On the far right, the White Questing Knights came forward a bit just to keep the pressure on these 2 units.
Right.
They're facing the units of Knights of the Realm with the Strider banner over here with them, just kind of keeping an eye on things. Grail Knights have pivoted about so that if the Skeletal Warriors do not kill off my War Machine, they can come to its rescue. And over here, we just moved forward a bit and just messed with this wall.
And looked under the wall, see if there's a token or something?
I thought there might be
Pot
another
of
one.
gold?
I thought there might be another one hiding there. And there you go. The archers, the brigands, were on the far left. They moved their 8 inches towards the center, and they're facing to the right. You can see the front 2 guys have
Trying
been
to shoot off the cavalry.
trying to support put a couple wounds on the cav, and they do. They put 3 wounds on him.
Okay.
The bolt throwers fire at other units, not being the cav in front of them. The bolt thrower here on the scorpion here on the right shot at the Shabtis over on the far right, and the one over here on the left fired at the Shabtis on the far left.
Oh.
I was picking those units because they were out of healing range.
I see.
So any wounds I did to them would have stuck.
So you
Is the way I was looking at.
didn't want to try to save your other bolt thrower with the...
I don't think he can kill me.
Yeah, okay.
Was my thought.
Right.
He's got 4 attacks.
Yeah, okay. We just...
Yeah, that was my thought process there.
Kelly just stopped from shooting for a couple turns.
Well, he can stop me at most from 1 because the Grail Knights will come pick him off. And that's them shooting there.
Okay.
Happy about that. So we go into his turn 2. His turn 2, he looks around. Oh, and managed to get a stone skin off on these archers up front. In case he doesn't charge me and just shoots me up. I don't plan on sticking if he charges me, but if all he wants to do is shoot me, I'm glad to stand there and absorb shots.
Okay.
Moving forward, you can see this is why I should have been on that token. Because if I would have moved the aspirants forward onto the token, maybe they did fail their march test, but if they would have been on the token, it would have forced him to charge me.
Right.
Which pulls him forward, which is what I'm kind of looking for.
Is his mage still there, or has he backed them out now?
His mage backed out.
Okay.
Because they did not happy about the aspirants being there.
Yeah.
Cataphracts came forward a bit now that they're out of arc of this unit over here on the left. The Knights of the Realm came forward, and the Grail Knights aren't facing them either, so they're feeling a little frisky.
Okay.
This is kind of a standoff between those 4 units on the right.
Right.
But it's a point one that doesn't really hurt me, I don't think.
And charge into your scorpion.
And he did charge my scorpion.
How's your scorpion painting coming?
It's not.
Okay.
I need to. And the Shabti in the center, I believe, charged the aspirants. Actually, the big unit of archers charged my aspirants, and they fled and bounced through to where you see him.
Why is there one missing?
Because
or did he shoot you?
He shot me. He magicked me.
And you failed to...
No, yes, that's what it was. He didn't shoot me. He magicked me. It was the the one that does a strength 10 based on my
Okay.
leadership.
And you panicked and ran back.
He bounced me and I ran.
Okay.
Correct.
That makes more sense.
So it wouldn't have helped putting him on the marker, but anyway.
Yeah.
Would have made him at least think about it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So the fight continued. He actually did no wounds to me on the charge, and I did one to him
And
for a
you killed
push.
him. Okay.
And the Grail Knights charged into the flank. Up here in the center, the questing knights, the red questing knights with the banner speed, charged into the ruins at him.
One tripped over a rock.
And one landed on a column or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And got splattered. Then the aspirants over here on the left came forward and sat on the token.
Oh, so yeah, you brought him up pretty far.
It's forcing him to charge me. And if he charges me, I've got this unit back here ready to go. Is what I'm thinking there.
Okay.
This fight ensues. We peel off the entire back rank between casualties and crumbling. And that's what we end up with.
And he doesn't do anything to you?
He didn't do any.
I guess he's...
Or did he? Yeah, he didn't do any.
Yeah.
I mean, he's strength 5. He's got 9 attacks at strength 5. It might have been 12 attacks at strength 5. Because he may have still had one before he crumbled. But 12 attacks at strength 5, I mean...
Yeah.
6 hit. Most of them wound. And then I've got a 4 up.
Well, he's got the rending
5
banner,
up.
right? So...
I did pop the rating banner, so I've got a 5 up, I guess. But the regen was on him as well from the architect,
Okay.
which kept him going
Yeah.
quite a bit. And that was it. Oh, actually, he did kill one. Sorry, because I grew the one that died in the terrain. I grew him back.
Okay.
And then he killed him off, but not a big deal.
No, but he got something.
But he did get something. The Grail Knights, of course, killed the skeleton cav and reformed. And the Knights of the Realm on the back just sat in the water and pulled the cataphracts back into their arc.
Yep. You guys are still looking at each other?
Still just staring it off. Like I said, there's a slight point advantage to me off on the far right, but not by a whole lot.
Okay.
Between those 4 units. Staring at each other the whole game. Goes to his turn 3. His turn 3. And a bolt thrower shot off a chariot.
Oh, okay. That's helpful.
Missed that. Bolt thrower did shoot off a chariot. So on turn 3, the 4 Shabtis charge on my aspirants.
Okay.
We haven't picked up the token yet, so we just run. He's got no one to redirect into, so he just stumbles forward. The chariots elected not to charge into my flank, because he was in my flank of my bear speed unit. But the unit of archers on the far right, you can see the dice down. They're going to auto charge me into the flank.
Okay.
At that, and come on, where you going? There we go. There they are. They smacked me in the flank. The combat res is a bad thing there.
Yep.
Over here, this continues. His magic manages to punk off 2 of my Grail Knights.
Okay.
And here they kill me down to my character. Between all of it, which is bad. The thing
probably better than having one knight survive.
Yeah, well, for rallying purposes, yes. The miscalculation on my part with these guys, the whatever that Duke, the General Pharaoh guy or whatever he is, gives the unit killing blow. I mean, lethal strike.
Right.
And that
made the difference.
Made a big difference. I mean, those are saves I can't make.
Yeah.
All I have is a straight 6-up ward save versus them, and that just doesn't happen. Doesn't happen often. But he killed me down to him, and then runs me down.
He ran you forward.
Okay. The unit of archers elected not to pursue. They reformed.
Okay.
And the Shabtis charged forward.
Okay. And far enough for you to get a flank?
No, it was not quite far enough to get. The angle looks looks like a flank, but it is not.
Okay.
So we've got this going into my turn.
Okay.
So I look at this and I'm done. So I had 2 options. Let me back up real quick. Show you this. So this big unit here that's in the field, it's got my General BSB and Mage in it.
Mm-hmm.
It has the choice of going into the front of the Shabti
Mm-hmm.
and then
Or
going
running
into
into-
that unit with the lethal strike,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't excite me.
Right. Especially since you're probably not going to go around through and you got chariots in your flank.
And then I'll have the chariots in my flank, and nothing. The aspirants over here are fleeing, so even if they rally, I've got nothing coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So, based on that, I elected. Oops, going the wrong way.
The other way. You went for the chariots.
I
'cause
elected
that
to
would
go
get you
back
out
and see
of-
that.
That would get you out of charge.
So it puts me out of charge arc of everybody, and I
Okay.
think I got no chance of not blowing through them.
Uh-huh.
And if I roll, I think it's an 7 or an 8, I'm onto the knights behind the fast cab behind him,
Mm-hmm.
which will allow me to kill those in his turn and be able to reform and charge in my or
Right.
pivot and charge in my turn,
Right.
whether it's into the Shabti or not,
Or the bunker.
or the bunker or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And my Grail Knight, you can see there in the center, marched forward and sat on that token.
Okay.
So now the Shabti are there with only, I think I'd like an 11 or a 12 on my Scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
The Shabti in the center.
Okay.
And the Shabti on the left have nothing. But my aspirants did not rally and continue to run.
Okay.
It's not good for me. Over here, we've charged into the, what are they called? The chariots with that unit.
Yep.
And they're going to smash, there you go. They're going to charge into there, going to smash that, overrun, and they managed the roll they needed to get into the
Okay.
fast cav.
It's like you shot off a Shabti.
And I shot off a Shabti. Yay. The Shabti on the left now, it's his turn.
Shooting is demoralizing when you
It's
against stuff that can grow back.
Well, it's really irritating. Well, I'm kind of okay with it, even if they grow back. But what's bugging me is they're not hitting much.
Right.
And it's demoralizing to me when I spent it's only 230 points, but 230 points on it, and I'm getting shot after shot, and they're just not hitting.
Right. Right.
Even if they're needing 4s and 5s, they're just not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's his movement. I've charged in. This is where he's starting his turn, as you can see. The Shabti over here on the left have the option of moving forward and pick up the token.
Mm-hmm.
But if he does, I have not done this fight here yet.
Right.
So if he moves forward and picks up the token, I kill these two, do a 180-degree turn, and just run them over on my turn.
Right.
So it's pushing him off of them,
Mm-hmm.
is my opinion there.
Okay.
And what is this saying? Ignore that for a minute. There we go. So then there's the Grail Knight moving in the center, and the standoff on the right continues. Top of turn 4. So this is now it's his turn to move. The Shabtis that were in the center turned off to the move off to the right.
Got the big flank shot.
The his bunker with the warriors comes forward, and his archers turn to the left to face the blue unit.
Okay.
Shabtis come forward in position to pick it up. Next turn, not on it, but nearby so they can get on it.
Okay.
Because he didn't want to get on it, because if I get on it, I'll definitely charge him.
Right.
He's trying to tempt me off of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's what it comes down to. Over here, again, we continue our little dance.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up to where I need a 9 to charge him
Okay.
with this unit here in here. But I need like a 10 or 11 with the other unit.
You got a 7 sitting in front of it.
Was it only a 7?
That's what the dice say.
Okay. Maybe he hasn't moved yet. Did
No.
he back off of that? Anyway. So over here. So I wipe out those, and I decide to pivot and face, because I've got a 7 charge into the flank of his bunker with all his characters in it.
Right.
I'm like, whoa, that looks a little too good to pass up on, despite everything else.
And you have, if he blows up, you got a nice long overrun.
If he blows up, correct. The problem I have is I declare the charge, I hit him, but I can only get, and I charged in with the Grail Knight as well. the problem I have is the placement of this other unit. His archers only got me 2 files in.
Okay.
And by the time by the time the fast attacks go in, the general and the Grail Knight up front, I wipe out the back rank and only have 1 file in.
Ah, okay.
So that really hurt my ability to wound him.
Yeah.
And the unit of Knights of the Realm moves off here to the left,
Decided not to charge.
which was a mistake. Even if they didn't charge, I didn't need that help over there on the left. They should have stayed over here on the right. But I thought I might need them over here on the left, so that's where they headed off to.
Yep.
I kept thinking the two Scorpions are going to finish that unit in the field. And they both shot at it. Both need 4s, neither one hit.
But it wasn't to be. Okay.
And what panicked them? Oh, I think the aspirants continued to run for the second, failed again their 7 rally, which is not a great rally chance.
Yeah.
But they fail. They ran off the board edge.
And panicked these guys.
They panicked these guys. They run from the nearest opponent, which happens to be the Shabti in the center. They only ran like 3.
Okay.
So they stayed on the board, but they are fleeing.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird that the thing that caused them to panic was on the board, and they run that same direction. But that's what it is. The Grail Knight charged in and directed all his attacks at his one of his mages and put 2 wounds on him.
Okay.
Didn't quite kill him. And then, there you go. There's a picture of that. And I did take a wound to my damsel charging through the ruins.
Okay.
But that was the only thing bad that happened as far as that went. Did manage to get a stone skin off on the Grail Knight. Because he's carrying the token. I didn't want him to die. Right. Despite only getting the single, the limited attacks in, this is what we smashed him down to.
Okay.
And we were able to reform into what you see there.
Okay. Why don't you put 1 on the right-hand side?
I should have. I did not.
Okay.
I noticed that later. Okay. When it was during his turn, I noticed it. And it's like, okay, well, it's already done. So left it and moved on. And there we have that. This is going into his turn 4 or 5.
Okay.
And now since it's the last turn, he's got to jump on the marker. So he comes forward and jumps on the token. Again, the Green Knights. What did they do? Oh. So I'm looking at it now. So he's going to pick up.
Okay.
On turn 6, he's going to pick up both tokens.
Right.
Or he has the option to pick up both tokens. I only have 1 with the Grail Knight stuck back here.
That needs to survive.
So my thought here is the unit here in the woods off to the right can charge the Shabtis, smash these 2 in the field, in the open, kill them, overrun into the field, and then charge the other 4 and maybe knock that off of them. That was my thinking here. Not good thinking. Because they should have turned around and faced the Cataphracts off on the right.
Yeah.
But they did not.
This is still turn 5. Or...
This is still his turn 5. I'm just telling you what I was thinking when I did that.
Okay.
He gets off 2 spells, and all of a sudden, 14 skeletons more show back up.
Yep.
So that's just awful. Move into here, and that's leaving it here for my turn. I kill him back down, but again, it's nowhere near enough.
And you shifted down this time?
I shifted down this time and went to a single unit deep, so this unit didn't have arc on me. Or...
Oh, he didn't turn
to face you? No, he turned to face me.
Okay.
He turned to face me. What did I do? Oh, because I had to go to a single file to get this guy over on this side, because my projected footprint would have been on him if I wouldn't gone to a single file.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I did that. That's it. So now it's going to be into my turn 5. My turn 5, the unit over here on the white decides to charge the Shabti. If I charge the Cataphracts, I don't beat them. I'm not going I'm not going to erase the unit because the other unit's not facing them. If I had 2 units, I would.
Right.
But I can't with just the White Knights alone.
Mm-hmm.
So the White Knights elect to charge the Shabtis, thinking I can beat them,
Mm-hmm.
rotate, and then hit these guys on turn 6.
Okay, so we're at the bottom of turn 5.
We're on the bottom of turn 5. Over here, like I said, the
charge these guys, yeah.
Stalker Standard Banner comes out, charges these guys with plan to wipe them out and overrun. Both bolt throwers fire off here to the left and try to wound those 4 Shabtis that were over there, so I can thin them out for this unit when it overruns and gets into them.
Okay.
Smash this guy down, and after crumble has a single wound left.
Ah, missed it by that much.
I have to go 4 wide so I can get out of arc of the cataphracts.
Yep.
And now, a turn late, we finish off the unit, but all we can do is reform with both these, the Grail Knights and the...
So you charge the Shabti in the center, you beat him, and what? You
charge the Shabti in the center, beat them, and overran.
just had a bad overrun.
Just had a terrible overrun, didn't get very far. And like I said, up top, we finished off the skeletons with all his characters in it.
Okay.
All but the Pharaoh guy. And all we can do is reform.
Your mage is in that unit, right?
It is in the unit up top.
Yeah, just you haven't grown back any Grail Knights.
No, he stopped me from doing. I got off the Oaken Throne, but nothing else.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate. There was a miscast somewhere in there, and I did a wound to the mage.
Okay.
And you can see the wound.
So now you're at 2. That's on the mage. Okay.
Right. Actually, you know what? No. The mage, he challenged, in the last turn, he challenged with his skeletal champion. And I took it with the mage, so my characters could still do their work and beat on the unit.
Right, because you didn't have that man.
Because I couldn't afford it, and he managed to do another attack, another wound on my mage.
Okay.
So my wage is up to 2 wounds. So there you have that. Luckily for me, in the top of 6, he crumbled over here.
Oh, because you killed his general.
His general's all dead,
Okay.
so his crumble tests don't affect anything. Everyone keeps talking about how bad this crumble test is. The Shabtis are leadership 8.
Yeah.
Shabtis and the Cataphracts, I believe, are both leadership 8. They crumble 1 less because they're constructs.
Right.
So unless he rolls a 10, it does absolutely nothing to him.
Right.
On these 3 units, because he's got a character in this one who's a leadership 8 as well. So anyway, or 9 or something. I don't know.
That's why the constructs are so good.
Yeah, it makes it really tough.
One of the many reasons the constructs are so good.
So this one, and then the Shabtis over here on the far left just backed up to get out of my, make it a longer charge for me. His general, the Pharaoh that was in this unit of skeleton archers, charges out of the unit into my Grail Knight, who's carrying the token, to make sure he gets rid of that.
He didn't charge with the whole unit because...
He couldn't. Because he couldn't get past my other unit.
Really?
Yeah. Because of where he was and he had to wheel to me,
Okay.
he couldn't have gotten to
I
it.
couldn't move from the other side?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he easily charges this
Yeah.
guy out. He's going to
Okay.
crush me. The crumble took off his Shabti on the right,
Okay.
but because of that no more foes or
Right.
something, I get a reform.
Yeah.
So I got a reform there, and we move on to top of turn 6. So top of turn, after I did the reform on the bottom of 5, top of turn 6, he does this. He reforms and shifts down,
Okay.
so that even if I charge him, I'm only going to get 2 files in instead of 3,
Okay.
which is going to reduce me by. That is the champion on the right, by the way. So he's going to reduce me by like 3 attacks going in. Now he charged me over here. Sorry.
Okay.
That he had already. I took a picture too late.
Okay.
So I had to charge over here. I needed an 11 to get into him after he backed up because of my poor overrun.
Yeah.
And I don't make that.
Okay.
We haven't done it yet, but
And he killed your Grail
I won't
Knight?
make that. He does butcher my Grail Knight, which was not a surprise at all. I've got no choice. If they all hit, they all wound, I can crumble this unit.
Okay.
So I've got to take the chance. We come in and try it. They've got to try their 11, and they fail.
And you killed one.
I ended up killing a grand whopping one, and reform into the.
He's missing his archers.
Yes, the general's unit charge the archers just to pick up the points. It's not going to do anything because now he has 2 of the tokens.
Right.
I have none. So even had those units, that unit right there, turned around and gone back, he would have been fine. Both the scorpions took shots at his lone character walking around out there.
There's woods in the way.
And do nothing to him.
Okay.
So that's it. That's not good. Ends up, I actually outscored him 13 to 7, but he's got the objective. So it ends up being a 10-10 game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not great. At least it wasn't a loss.
There is that.
Yeah, I mean, again, even if the unit of knights that I talked about would have head off to the right instead of heading back out in the center, the only thing it changes is I don't pick up a unit of Shabji.
Yeah.
So, and that was the big unit of 8. So,
right.
There's a lot of points in that
a lot
unit.
Of points. No, I didn't. I think that was a fine play.
Because the Grail Knight died, and that happened. A lot of it. Excuse me. A lot of that happened because I couldn't get through that unit of skeletons. I tried to stop his healing spells, but I couldn't get them all stopped, which let him bring the 14 guys back.
Right.
And then I didn't get through it. I needed to get through it a turn earlier so the Grail Knight with the token could walk away.
Right.
But anyway, didn't happen, but it was a 10-10 game.
Yeah, you probably been better served not sending him in there.
It's probably true, but my idea was to go in, and he ended up doing it, was assassinate one of his characters.
Yeah, yeah.
Over 2 rounds, he managed to kill one of them, which wouldn't have died otherwise.
Right.
And add a couple wounds to the combat.
Yeah.
So, had he not gone in, I don't even know that I would have gotten through it when I did.
Okay.
So, because he would have been able to turn to face me.
Right.
And kill off my big flank and stuff. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for listening.
Till next time.